Yo, Big C in the house. You know the name. Fin Posse Podcast. Changing the game. Fins up high. Feel the aqua and orange. Miami Heat blazing. We scorching the floor. Marino the tour. We stacking the saga. Legacy deep, call it football nirvana. Big C, break it down, got the stats in his veins. Play-by-play knowledge like he's calling the chains. Fins flying on the field, opponents feel the blast. Tyreek cheetah speed, leaving DBs in the past. Waddle with the wiggle, defense with the clamp. Aqua drip so clean, whole squash the champ. Tune in, Big C, got the mic on lock. Fin Posse Podcast, it's the cream of the crop. Breaking news, hot takes, repping the block. For the Dolphin faithful, it's the one-stop shop. Fin Posse. We the voice of the fans. Miami stand tall, got the world in our hands. Best podcast, yo, ain't no debate. Big C, big vibes, setting it straight. Defense smash, call it aqua tsunami. X locking routes like a South Beach Armani. O-line holding strong, trenches like a fortress. Big C dissected, no stack goes dormant.
Try to play, but you're never gonna beat me. Look the other way, what I'm doing ain't easy. Bloody hands stained from the people who deceive me. Muddy hands break through the chains, go free me. Looking for change, looking for pain. Pulling a mob, pushing a train. I'll never stop, stick to a lane. Pick up the pieces and go rearrange. I'll be the best above all the rest, put me to the test and expect nothing less, your check is I'm chess, what's happening next, yeah. He got the venom, a tangible weapon, no coming in second. This life is a lesson, he got a new engine from pain, it's a blessing. New focus, no guessing, just bold and obsession. All in his possession, you got their attention. I'll leave an impression and take your redemption. Just kill, no discretion, your mind is a weapon. 11-11, it's time for progression, You could try to play, but you're never gonna beat me. Look the other way.
What up, Fin fans? Welcome to another episode of the Fin Posse Podcast. I am your host, Big C, and this is brought to you by Game Changers Media. How is everyone doing this morning? It's rainy and drizzly and nasty outside here in upstate New York. Hopefully the weather's a little bit better wherever you're located. But how is everyone doing? I got a very special guest joining the show today. Hopefully, yeah, you know, CBB late. You know what I mean? CBB late. You don't ever be on time for nothing. But hopefully, Finn's take with CB83 will be joining the show. We'll get his take on Malik Willis, how he feels about Coach Half, Sully, this new regime, the moves that we've made already, the moves that he thinks we're going to make. And I got a little, what's the word? Damn, I just had the word in my damn head. I hate that. It's like pressure comes on me and I just exercise. A little exercise I'd like to conduct with the fans today and with CB83 and get his opinion. Because, again, I know that I sound like a Debbie Downer when it comes to the moves that the Miami Dolphins have made recently. And, you know, that's not me. And I know CB's a pretty positive guy when it comes to the Miami Dolphins. He tries to look at the cup more half full than half empty. And usually I'm that same type of way. You know what I mean? Like I usually try to see things in the positive view, the positive outcome that could happen for the Miami Dolphins, because, you know, who wants to be negative all the time? Who wants to be negative all the time? But I'm finding it harder and harder to be positive about the moves that the Miami Dolphins make. I just don't feel like they're the moves that a successful organization would make. I don't think it's following the blueprint of successful franchises that we've seen over and over and over. And we've also seen franchises fail over and over and over. And I think we've seen a lot of franchises fail using the current way of doing things that the Miami Dolphins are doing things right now. Let's say hello to everybody in the chat. Aquavision, good morning. Bonnie, good morning. Member to the channel. Great. Thank you, Bonnie. Bonnie is my day one. She's been here since the very beginning, rocking out with me when there was just one person in the chat. It was me and her. You know what I mean? Bonnie has been here since day one. Raphael been here since day one. I appreciate you. I do. I really do. Joe, what's up? Day one, what's up? Is that how you say it, Chevelle? Listen, if it's all right with people in the chat, because I like to have a personable relationship with people, I want to learn your guys' real names if that's all right. So it might take me a time or two, but if you want to, I mean, obviously Joe is Joe, you know what I mean? So if you guys want to hit me with what your real names are, so I can try to remember those, and I don't have to mispronounce your screen names, that'd be fantastic. Miller, good morning, brother. Good morning. Miller said anybody that show up tomorrow, he gifting memberships to. So you want a membership to the Fin Posse podcast? You know, that was very nice. That's very nice of Miller. That'd be very. C. Hopeful is the first and last name. Helpful? Is that helpful? Restructured Jackson O-line at pick 11. We did restructure Jackson. Did we restructure Jackson? CB, where you at, boy? Okay. Yeah, that I mean, Austin Jackson, is he a great player? No. Is he a decent player? Yeah, he's a decent player. He never lived up to his draft position. Obviously, we drafted him to be our left tackle. That didn't pan out. We moved over him to right tackle. He struggles to stay healthy, but I think he is a solid player when healthy. I think he's a solid to good player when healthy. I'm going to probably still get that wrong, brother. Steffel. You're not making it very easy. What's your first name? What's your first name, brother? I wish I could hear it. I wish I could click on it and it would say. Big C Hendrickson went to the Ravens. Are you serious? Hendrickson went to the Raiders with Max Crosby? Are the Ravens with Max Crosby? Come on. Is that true? I gotta get, man, I was sitting here messing around. Max failed his physical? Oh, man. That's kind of crazy, right? Could you imagine if they would have got Hendrickson and Max Crosby? That would have been whoa. 4-year, $112 million deal. How crazy is it that Jalen Phillips got more money than this guy. How crazy is it? He got more money than this guy. Without further ado, the one, the only, the great CB83.
Yo, what is up? What is up? What's going on, my boy?
We talking about this some stuff I didn't know. We've restructured Austin Jackson. So he's gonna be here another year. There was rumors that we were gonna get rid of him. The Max Crosby failed physical. That's huge.
Yikes.
And then Hendrickson signing with the Ravens. That's a big move. He got less money than Jalen Phillips. That's crazy, right?
That is crazy.
I mean, he's older, but the amount of production that Hendrickson had over Phillips it's not even. It's apple to oranges. Yeah, so for Jalen Phillips to get as much money as he did, coming off major injuries, is crazy.
Yeah, I think the Panthers are desperate too. I think, they need to get guys in the building, and they might have to overpay a little bit, because of their situation. But I do think they're up and coming. I think they had a good run last year, so we'll see how it works out for them. Shout out to everybody in the chat. I see y'all rocking with us, man. I sent the message out. Hopefully we get some people in here to rock out, bro. Get some subscribers, get you up. Let's go, man.
Yeah, I just recently got the partial monetization. Finally.
Hey, that's what I'm talking about. Can they donate yet?
They can donate. They can become members. Dope. They can do that, all that type of stuff. So
look at the homies in the chat. Aqua, DG, B Dolphin. What's up, man? What's up with y'all, Joe? Hey, shout out to everybody in the chat, man. It's good to see some familiar faces, and then we got some new faces over here too, man. But what's up with y'all?
So, obviously, the big news surrounding the Miami Dolphins is we've moved on from Tua Tagovailoa. The writing was on the wall. I think everybody pretty much knew that was going to happen. Whether you like Tua or you hate Tua, this fan base has been very divided over Tua Tagovailoa. Yeah. And I don't feel like it's going to get any better. I've seen recently, I've been a supporter of Tua as you have. I mean, that's fair to say, right?
Yeah.
But I've never been a Tua can't do any type of wrong type of thing. You know what I mean? And I'm just trying to move on. Like, I don't want to talk about the Atlanta Falcons backup quarterback. You know what I mean? Like,
is he a backup? Is he a backup?
He's gonna say.
Is he a backup?
Let's not get into that. That's the Falcons' problem. That's the Falcons' problem.
There we go. All right, we'll let that be a Falcons problem.
I try to move on from the situation, and people just, I have an issue with. Obviously, the Miami Dolphins went out and signed Malik Willis, and I'll get your opinion on him in a second.
Yeah.
I'm not in love with the move. I don't think that a rebuilding team needing as many pieces that we need should go out and sign a career backup. So far in his career, you cannot dispute all he is a career backup. You can't dispute it.
Yeah.
If the kid was so great, and this is part of the exercise, I got a little exercise that I want to perform with the group and you here in a minute. If the kid was so great, Green Bay would not let him walk out the door. Now, I understand they have Jordan Love. I do. So we're saying Malik Willis's ceiling is Jordan Love. Right? I mean, because Green Bay wouldn't let him walk out the door if he was better than Jordan Love.
I think that's a good assessment. I think I would be inept to think the same way. It's like, all right, so Jordan Love's a good quarterback. I feel like he's a solid quarterback. I feel like at the least they maybe try to re-sign him as a backup or trade him beforehand, like get rid of him and get some compensation for him if people felt like he was that good of a quarterback. And I don't think that was the case early on. And I think at this point they were willing to let him walk, and they felt like, hey, go out there and find your market and find your opportunity. And here we are. I mean, Halfley and Sully saw him, and they must have some conviction in regards to Malik Willis and him being a starter in the NFL. So I mean, we'll see. We shall see.
Yeah, I mean, time always tells, right?
It does.
That's the beautiful thing about time. But a lot of us aren't trying to hear the time thing. You know what I mean? We've been waiting a long time for a winner here in Miami.
Yeah.
We don't want to hear about another 5 years down the road. We don't got no more time. We're fed up, and I think that's fair. You know what I mean? It's fair with the Malik Willis signing. And I don't think the kid's a bad player. I don't think he's a bad player. I think he's probably he's better than Tua at this point. I would say with Tua, an injured Tua, he's better than Tua. He's physically more gifted. He can throw the ball farther. Obviously, he's not the precision passer that Tua is when healthy, but he's twice the athlete. So I think he can help us out in a lot of ways. I would love to see Malik Willis with Mike McDaniel. I think that would have been fantastic, but that's nor here nor there. My issue with the Malik Willis signing is that we are not a quarterback away from competing.
Mm-hmm.
Malik Willis does not put us over the top. It does not make us playoff contenders. It does not make us Super Bowl contenders. It does not make us AFC East contenders. All I think it does is it puts us in a situation that we could lose out on getting the number 1 draft pick in 2027. And I feel like we have a clear-cut path to rebuilding this team the right way through the draft, which we heard Sully and Coach Half say that's the way they want to build this team. Yet the first move that they make is going out and signing a backup quarterback when this team has a plethora of other needs. And all you had to do, you had a free year. This year was a free year for them. They were going to take no fault from Stephen Ross. They were going to take no fault from the fan base for going out and losing 15 games this year. And no fan wants to see the Dolphins lose 15 games. But I'd rather lose 15 games than lose 9 games and get the 13th pick in the draft. I'd rather lose 15 games and get the number 1 pick in the draft and hopefully get my franchise quarterback for the first time since Dan Marino. And I think that's the clear-cut way to rebuild this franchise, yet they go out and they sign Malik. That's my problem. And I think it hurts our chances of getting the number 1 pick. And I honestly, if you invest in Malik, it doesn't necessarily mean that we can't draft a quarterback in 2027, but you invested in Malik Willis. You think that he can be possibly the future quarterback of the Miami Dolphins. So do the Miami Dolphins really take their first-round pick in 2027 and use it on a quarterback, or do they try to give Malik Willis weapons?
I mean, I think that's a lot to digest, but I mean, I think you have to think of it like this. The NFL is still a business, and the NFL is about selling a product, right? And it's going to be hard to sell Miami Dolphin fans and the NFL a product with Quinn Ewers as your quarterback and a team stripped to the studs. I think at this point, they are realizing that, hey, this
TD
Malik
in the chat. What up, brother?
TD, what's good, man? So I think they are realizing that Malik Willis does give the fan base some sort of hope, right? It does sell some tickets. It does put people in the seats while they're doing this rebuild that they're doing. So I think, I would have loved for them to just, hey, let's just strip it to the studs and let's not figure out a way to lose games, but let's not build this thing too rapidly so that we are winning games. But I think they took the approach of, hey, let's put our quarterback in and let's build around him. And let's try to build a defense. And the Miami Dolphins will probably win a few games this year. Maybe some games that we aren't expecting them to win. And this may be like that Flores situation all over again, where you're expecting the team to be really bad, but they end up winning 5-6 games anyways. So, I mean, we'll see how it shakes out, but they're still trying to sell a product. And I think that's what they're selling to guys like TD, and other people out there is that, hey, this is Malik Willis. This is a running quarterback. This is exactly what you guys want. This is a budget Lamar Jackson who's going to be exciting, electric, run around, make plays. And we'll figure out a way to win some games with this guy. And I think that's what they're doing at this point. And people will eat it up. I mean, that's the casual fan loves a quarterback, right? They think the quarterback is the end all be all for a franchise. And that's what we're going to be dealing with for the next couple years. So we'll see how it shakes out.
I think it leaves us in a spot that we continue to be mediocre. We're not. It's kind of like TD used to say about Tua. He's good enough, but to be good enough, but not good enough. You know what I mean? Whatever, however he phrases it.
Yeah, good enough.
You know what I mean? Yeah, that's what the Miami Dolphins have been for so long. We finish at 7-9 or 10-7, or you know what I mean, 8-8. So many years of that where we're not up at the top of the draft to get a difference maker. Yet we're not bad and we're not good enough to win the big one. And I just think that a move like this, and again, it's not that he's a bad player. You know, if we were a player away, absolutely go grab him, go do what you got to do. If we still had Tyreek on the team, if we still, you know, had the defensive players that we had. But we're not a player away, and you're right. I think Malik Willis will win us a couple of games that maybe we shouldn't. But all that does is take us from a 2-win team to a 6-win team and hurts our chances of getting the real future of the Miami Dolphins at the quarterback position in the 2027 draft.
Yeah, and I think that's the catch-22 here is that, yeah, we got a quarterback for the next couple of years, but, you know, do we have the quarterback for the future of the Miami Dolphins? And that's something we don't know yet. You know, I mean, this is where we're at. It's like damned if you do, damned if you don't. Either way, I think that the recipe for success for the Dolphins is building a really good defense, right? I think that's going to be the key moving forward is building a great defense and figuring out a way to stop teams and allowing Malik Willis to just, you know, we shouldn't have to rely on him to be everything for the offense. This is my concern, that we try to put it all on his shoulders and say, hey, go out there and win us games. That's just not something that's realistic as far as the NFL landscape goes. And we can look at guys like the Seahawks blueprint. They built a really good defense. They dropped a quarterback in, and he was able to manage games. They ran the ball well, and they won a Super Bowl because they had a great defense and they ran the ball well. And the guy was able to make plays when he needed to, right? The offensive line was solid, right? And I think that's where the Miami Dolphins should be thinking, hey, build a great defense, build a team that can go on the road and win in the cold and win tough games, right? A team that's physical, and then, you know, go from there. But I mean, we shall see. I think the Malik Willis thing is difficult, right? Because I don't think you can get a really good gauge on how good he can be with an offense that's kind of stripped to the studs, right? Now, if you build a really good offensive line that's going to protect him, right, and you put some weapons around him, then you can get a really good assessment of him, right? I feel like right now with the team we have, we can't get a good assessment of what he truly can be, and that's going to be my issue, because I felt the same way with Tua. I felt early on we didn't get a good assessment of Tua because he didn't have a good team around him, and I felt like we got to that point and we were able to win some games, but we weren't able to get over the hump because of injuries and things like that. So I just don't want that to be the case with the Malik Willis experiment. We got to find a way to figure out if he's the guy right away, and not give him the excuses that we gave the Tua Tagovailoa experiment.
But again, you talk about Seattle. Seattle was a quarterback away, right? They moved on from Geno Smith, brought in Sam Darnold. Sam Darnold, you're right. They dropped him into a team that had a phenomenal defense, all-world wide receiver. You know, Jackson Smith-Njigba came out of nowhere and became one of the best receivers in the NFL. A very strong running game. The Miami Dolphins aren't that right now. And you're right. I think obviously they're going to want to build a defense. but you can build a defense and still go get your quarterback in the first round of future. This guy wasn't a top prospect coming out of college. He's got minimal experience. He threw 35 passes last year, and I don't care how impressive the game film was. He relies a lot on his athleticism, right? Correct?
Yeah.
He's an undersized quarterback. He got knocked out of one of the 3 games that he started last year. How well is he gonna last over a 17 game season taking those type of hits? How well is he gonna hold up, playing the way he plays the game?
That's a good question. And that's a good question too. I mean, guys who run the ball are typically at risk a lot. And honestly, he's not a spring chicken either. He's not a young guy. He's like 28. He's crossing into 30. So he's gonna have to become more of a pocket guy at some point, you'd think, right? Because after 30, it's hard for those guys to take off and still make plays. And you see even guys like Patrick Mahomes still struggle when offensive line play isn't great and stuff like that. So you do got to be very cognizant of his play style, how he's successful, how to protect him, right? How to keep him from getting hit. And that's something the Miami Dolphins are going to have to figure out. And I think they really do have a plan for this. I just don't know if it's the right approach, right? If I was the Miami Dolphins, I would have took my time with it. I wouldn't have put a quarterback into this yet. I would have honestly rode this out another year with Quinn Ewers as a starter. Maybe, maybe Tua's the backup and he's just on the books. Maybe that's the case. But I mean, after this year, I would have drafted a quarterback next year and probably I draft one this year too. I probably draft one this year, draft one next year, and then figure out if one of those guys can be the guy moving forward. But it's just, I mean, they have a way of doing things. And I think they really wanted to just clean house, make sure this is a new slate for them, clean slate for them, so they could get this figured out moving forward. And there's no ties to the previous regime. I mean, there's going to be a couple holdovers here and there. But I mean, they pretty much have cleaned house and turned us into the Miami Packers. So we shall see how it works out.
Yeah, I mean, I think you said it perfectly. I think that was that's the blueprint. That was the obvious way to go about things. I think this puts added pressure on these guys. Make sure you guys hit that like button, subscribe, comment, share. Make sure to check out CB's channel, Phins Take, CB83.
Yeah.
Make sure you become members. I'm going to be broadcasting games, giveaways, all types of things with the membership. So become members of the Fin Posse podcast and help support the channel. I got a lot of big things planned for this channel. Just trying to continue to grow. So, I got the super chats down there. I got the memberships, help the kid out, help us grow, and help us come.
Man, somebody donate and support the homie, man. I appreciate y'all coming through and rocking with us, man. Shout out to the homie Big C. Big C's been rocking for a while, man. You just got to keep it going, keep it steady. I'm glad you got that monetization. Now you can just, pour into what you're doing. This isn't easy. It costs money. Yeah, I see your setup. I see all the graphics and stuff like that, bro. So you putting on a good production, bro. Just keep rocking it.
I appreciate it. So yeah, I'm not in love with, my biggest thing is that I think it really hurts our chances of, and yeah, we may still take a quarterback in 2027 NFL draft, but I really believe that this team is going to try to do everything and anything to help support Willis. And I guess that's what you got to do if you choose him as your guy. You know what I mean? So yeah. I can't be mad that's if they choose to use their first round pick in 2027 to put playmakers around Malik Willis or to draft a defensive stud. But this is supposed to be a very good quarterback draft. We're talking about Arch Manning. We're talking about Dante Moore from Oregon, who was supposed to be a top prospect this year and went back to college. Norris Sellers. There's just a plethora of names that we could possibly have to be the quarterback of the future who we could bring in, and they'll be 21, 22 years old and still very young, and you could have built this team around. You could have let them step into a much better situation than Malik Willis is coming into. With last year's draft picks, if they take a step forward, obviously, Sully's going to have to hit some home runs in this year's draft. And then you add that with next year's draft, plus the amount of cap space that we're going to have. There's no reason that this team couldn't be rebuilt in 2 years. I got to question how high Malik Willis' ceiling is. And I got a little thing here. I want to do a little experiment, a little, I had said the word before. Now I can't think of it again. Jesus.
Whatever.
There you go. A little exercise. So I said that Malik Willis's cap is Jordan Love, right? Because the Green Bay Packers, Jordan Love is older than Malik Willis. Jordan Love, the last 2 years, hasn't been able to finish the season, only playing 15 games. I think Jordan Love has been a good quarterback, but I don't think he's a top 10 quarterback. Would you disagree? Or
I don't think he's a top 10 quarterback. No.
I mean, I got a list of the court that I would put ahead of Jordan Love. So Patrick Mahomes, Josh Allen, Lamar Jackson, Joe Burrow, Matthew Stafford, Dak Prescott, Drake May. I hate to do this one, Bo Nix, because I'm not a big Oregon guy. I'm not a big Bo Nix guy. Justin Herbert, Jalen Daniels, Jared Goff, and Jalen Hurts. I believe all those guys are above him as far as production, as far as what they've done in the league so far.
I agree with you. I don't like the Bo Nix, but I think there's other guys, definitely 10 guys better than Jordan Love in the league. But I like Jordan Love. I think he's the type of quarterback who needs a strong run game, and who needs a good defense. I don't think any of these guys outside of the top 3 are guys who could literally carry an offense and just carry a team by itself. There's only a few guys who could do that. Everybody else is just one of those guys who need things to go right in order for them to be successful.
I would agree with that. There's only a few superstar guys.
Yeah.
But if Jordan Love's not in the top 10 and Malik Willis isn't Jordan Love, what are we really getting? A top 15 quarterback, a top 20 quarterback? And
I think, and
instead of taking the number 1 pick in the draft in 2027, a quarterback prospect, we're relying our future on a top 20 NFL quarterback.
I think his ceiling is going to be between 10 and 15. And I think, his floor should be between 15 and 20. I think the Miami Dolphins brass are thinking that he could be anywhere between 10 and 10 and 15. And I feel like if they're thinking he can be between 10 and 15 and they build a good defense, a top 5 defense, then they can win games. They can win playoff games. And I think if you can win playoff games, you got a shot at winning the Super Bowl. So they're probably thinking he can be somewhere in that range of 10 to 15. And, if they get a quarterback who's between 10 and 15 and they build a top 5 defense, then shit, that's a recipe for success, in my opinion. Because, when you look at the Seahawks, I don't think what's his name? The quarterback there was I don't think Sam Darnold was top. I think he had top 10 play at times, but I don't think he's a top 10 quarterback.
I don't think he's a top 10 quarterback neither.
Yeah, but I think if you get a top 5 defense, a really good defense, and you can run the ball efficiently and you can stay ahead of the chains, I think, bro, sky's the limit if your quarterback could just make the throws. And I think that's one thing Malik Willis can do, right? He can make the throws, right? And I think when teams are playing up and they're trying to stop the run, he'll be able to take advantage of some of that where Tua was lacking, right? Tua was lacking sometimes. He's not very mobile. He can't get out of the pocket. I think the quarterbacks who are winning games right now and who are like winning overall in terms of like production, I think those are guys who can make the defense pay by getting outside the pocket when they need to, or taking shots down the field when things break apart, when things break down. And I think that's where Tua just didn't have the ability to do anything. And I think that's what they're looking at Malik Willis as, a guy who can, a guy who could do that. And honestly, and that may be why they're willing to take on Malik Willis at this point, because they feel like a guy that's coming out in the draft, these younger guys won't have the ability and won't have the experience that Malik Willis has coming into the league. And like with a rookie quarterback, you're going to take your lumps. Like there's going to be a roller coaster of emotions and, play and just everything. So,
but the difference is they're 22 instead of 27.
Right. But you got to think too, like, their pay will, they kind of got Malik Willis on a deal. Like, they didn't spend a lot of money. Like, quarterbacks are making $40-50 million a year right now, and they kind of got him on a decent deal. But my thing is like we said, this window right here for the next 2 years, the roster is going to be pretty bad unless they really do something drastic to make some changes.
People talk about this deal. Oh, it's only a 2-year deal, Big C, blah, blah, blah. Mm-hmm. Listen, let's say Malik Willis comes in and balls out this year, he's not playing next year for $23 million.
Nah, he's gonna go. Definitely ask for some.
So you're gonna have to pay this guy out the woo-ha if he does perform well with a bad team. Still, this year, this team is. We're not a defensive player, one defensive player. We're not a pass rusher away. We're not a corner away from being a top 5. You talk about building a top 5 defense. We don't know what this defensive line is going to look like. Kenneth Grant, Jordan Phillips, they started to look better last year at the end of the year. Zach Sealer struggled at the beginning of the year. He ended up coming on and playing better at the end of the year. We have no corners. We have no safeties. We need another linebacker. We have no pass rushers. Chop Robinson has been very lackluster at best.
Yeah.
So this defense is pretty bare. It's pretty bare. So we talk about building a top 5 defense. You say they hope that he can be a top 10 to a top 15 quarterback. Well, the list that I named you that we feel like is better than Jordan Love, and they feel like Jordan Love is better than Malik Willis because they would have kept Malik Willis instead of Jordan Love. That was 12 names I gave you. Then there's a list of another 6-7 guys that maybe just as good as Jordan Love, if not better. So that takes him out the top 15 right there. And we're talking about Jordan Love, who is better than Malik Willis. The Green Bay Packers, everybody say, well, the Green Bay Packers, Halfley and Sully got to watch, Willis in practice. TD said they watched over 500,000 snaps. You know what I mean? Like 500,000 snaps in practice.
That's a lot of. That's a lot of snaps, bro.
These Green Bay Packers watched 500,000 snaps of Jordan Love being better than Malik Willis.
Yeah, for sure.
So if Jordan Love's not a top 15 quarterback, how's Malik Willis a top 15 quarterback? And then if he's not a top 15 quarterback, why wouldn't you just wait to try the draft one? And yeah, draft picks aren't guaranteed, but neither is a guy that's only got 6 games starting experience in his career, thrown 35 passes last year, got injured in one of those 3 starts that he had. I just don't see the reasoning behind making this move when they did.
I mean, I'm with you, bro. I just think they must know something we don't know. Let's hope that's the case. Let's hope they know that he's damn good and he's gonna light it up as a Miami Dolphin. Because I that could be the only thing that I think trumps those thoughts that you had. Like, I think that you have to understand that he's a dude. Like, you got to know he's a dude, and you've seen him a lot. You've seen his snaps, and you're convicted by it. So we'll see.
I mean,
we'll see.
JD said that you need more than 1 year to get a new contract. Now, when your last year is that's the only year you got guaranteed money. If he performs well, and it's not, listen, I think the kid's a good quarterback. I think he's decent. I think he's an improvement. I think he's going to do some good things for the Miami Dolphins. I just don't think there's enough in the cupboard to do very much with besides take us out of the top 5 in next year's draft. And I think that's the answer. How many quarterbacks are signed in free agency that go on and be Super Bowl winning quarterbacks? Not very many. Yes, you can name Sam Darnold. He did it this year. There's a couple other quarterbacks in history that have done it. But typically the top echelon quarterbacks are drafted. They're drafted. You allow him to, this wasn't a good situation. That's why I didn't like us going into this year hiring a head coach, because nobody wanted to come here. We didn't have nothing to offer a head coach. We were a bad team with bad salary cap, not the greatest draft picks, and, a Tua contract, not a lot of talent. Nobody wanted to come here and coach, so we had to settle. If you really believe that Hafley was the first choice of this organization, like, come on. And maybe he was Sully's first choice because it was convenient for Sully. But let's be real. A guy that's never coached before, he's never, what's he got? 2 years defense experience in Green Bay as a decent defensive coordinator. His head coaching experience in Boston College wasn't very good. And I just think you adding a quarterback to this roster doesn't make sense when you had a clear path to the top pick in the 2027 NFL draft. And typically that's where you get your superstar quarterbacks, is in the draft. And yeah, it's risky, but everything's risky, but I'd rather take my risk on a guy that's completely unknown in the NFL draft than a guy that's been a career backup so far who's got a cap, in my opinion.
Man, there's a lot of people I guess people are thinking, our thoughts are negative, right? Because we are a little reluctant to trust the move. I think it's fair for people to feel that way, but I just feel like at this point, it's okay for us to be skeptical in regards to the move, right? Do we want it to work out? I want the move to work out, right? I just know the Dolphins. I don't think the Dolphins should be trying to win games this coming year. I feel like if you're going to rebuild it, then you need to try to get good draft capital, get good draft picks, and draft guys that are on the top of the board. Like, we need a guy like a Jeremiah Smith. Like, we need like the best of the best in college football. We need the best quarterback if we're going to draft one. We need the best wide receiver that's coming out of college. So that's my deal with it. That I just want to see us get the best of everything moving forward if we're going to strip this thing down to the studs. Now, if we're going to half rebuild it, half reset it, then we're looking at something different. Like, things are going to be a little bit different. So, I didn't think we were a quarterback away with Tua. I don't think we're a quarterback away with Malik Willis. I feel like the Dolphins still have a lot of work to do to build this roster up.
And that's my thing. Like, everybody wants to think that I'm hating on the kid, like that I think he's just straight trash. And I don't think that. I don't. I just question why we would make this move when we're not ready to compete. I don't understand why you'd try to win 6 games instead of win 2 games. It just doesn't make sense if you're trying to rebuild a roster. You'd want, even if you don't want to go quarterback in 2027, wouldn't you still want the top draft pick so you could at least trade it away for 3 future first round? That's how teams get better fast. That's how you rebuild rosters. Yeah. You talk about you want to rebuild through the draft, yet you go sign a quarterback
who's going to win you games.
Minimal games, though. He's not enough to get you to the playoffs. He's just not.
Nah. And the Miami Dolphins, I don't think should be thinking about the playoffs right now. I think they should be thinking about, hey, how do we build a sustainable winner in Miami? And that's going to come with building a good football team, right? And having great coaches. We'll see how it works out. I'm not sold on Slowick as the offensive coordinator. I'm not sold on this offense being anywhere near where we're supposed to be. The defense is abysmal right now, looking at the roster. So we still have a lot of work to do. We have the draft, which we could get excited about, right? Add new pieces to the team. But I think we're a long ways away. Right? We have a quarterback, but I think we're a ways away from being, a contender. Now, this is the thing. People say you can say you disagree with us being a contender. I'm sure people think we're going to win games, but there's a difference between winning some games and being a Super Bowl contender. Okay? I don't want to be anywhere in between that. I either want to be a Super Bowl team or I want to be losing games to get to be a Super Bowl team, right? Now, I understand it's hard to win a Super Bowl, but you got to build a great team first, and you got to have some good pieces. A lot of things have to go right. So I just want to get there. I want to get to the point where we're drafting the best players and we have the best situation for the team moving forward. Like, I want a winning team. Right. And I know I'm not an unrealistic fan, like, oh, the Dolphins are going to win a Super Bowl in the next couple of years. No, it's not going to happen like that. But, hey, build a great football team, get the pieces in. You got to draft right. You got to move things around. You got to bring in the right free agents. There's a lot to it.
We don't know football, I guess, because Malik Willis is going to single-handedly win the Super Bowl for the Miami Dolphins this year. It was the smartest move.
But that's what the quarterback. But that's what the quarterback casuals will tell you, bro. They'll tell you that, hey, you got Malik Willis now, so you're going in the right direction of winning the Super Bowl. It's not that easy. I mean, we're not nobody's a quarterback away. Like, even the Seahawks weren't a quarterback away. They had a lot to do to build that team before they put a quarterback in there and won a Super Bowl. So we'll see.
I mean, I want, like, you don't agree with the takes. So who's our starting safeties? Who's our starting corners? Who's our pass rusher opposite Chop Robinson? What receivers do we have besides Jalen Waddle, who is a number 2 at best?
Hey,
who's our tight end besides Dulich, who's a good number 2 tight end, but he's not a number 1 tight end. You got HN.
Rolling with Carlos says, in Sully I trust. I don't trust any of these guys. Like,
for what reason do you trust in Sully, though?
I don't know. But I don't trust anybody until I start to see the play on the field and I start
to see the backup general manager for the Green Bay Packers. That's what he was, the backup general manager.
Yeah, I can't.
He had no real say. He had no real say or real authority with the Green Bay Packers.
I didn't trust in Tua until I saw he could actually play. Until I saw he could make some plays, and like that Arizona game.
Stop! You're hurting our credibility. You're hurting.
No, like I thought. Hey, I thought Tua was, wasn't the guy until I saw he could play. I don't know what we're gonna see with these guys, but we shall see. Hopefully, I'm hoping, for the sake of the Miami Dolphins and for the sake of our franchise, that this stuff does work out. Because honestly, I think we needed to work out. We need Malik Willis to be an overachiever. We need him to outplay that contract, right?
If he does, it does not matter. Even if he does, we're no more than a 6-win team. You can talk about free agency. We have no money. We have no money for free agents, and unless every draft pick you draft in this draft becomes a all-pro starter, I mean, it's just not realistic. We relied on our draft picks last year to come in and play at a high level last year, and how'd that turn out for us? Because these guys don't come into the league just ready to play week 1. Very rarely. Maybe a receiver does, because that's a different position, but offensive lineman, defensive lineman, corners is a hard position, safety, it's tough. We got a lot of holes. If you look at the holes that we have, it's not a 1-year fix, especially when you have no cap space and you don't have the top pick in the draft.
Cap for Life says we draft in defense and free agency ways will fill the roster. Griffith is 53 by training camp. Now, how are we so sure that we're drafting defense when we just went out and got Malik Willis? I think at this point, it's probably going to be 50-50 on whether we draft offense or defense. Like, we still got to get guys to support his play and show us that he's capable of being the guy. So I feel like the Miami Dolphins might go offense to put some more pieces around him. Our receiver room is bleak. The tight ends are bleak. Like offensive line still needs help. Like you still need help there. Running backs, shit. I feel like you could use running backs too. Like Devon A. Chan can't be the end all be all for that group. Like you still need a power back. Like you still need to be able to run the football. I don't think that group is great at running the football, the offensive line. So
I mean, I think the defense is better than the offense at this point.
definitely. But I mean, are we so sure that we're gonna go defense early? I don't know, bro. It's just with this Malik Willis move, I think everything's on the table at this point as far as the draft goes.
We have no. I mean, we really have no idea. I just don't. It's not that I don't want these guys to do well. I do. I'm a fan of the Miami Dolphins. Why wouldn't I want them to do well? I just, I'm questioning the moves that they make because I don't believe this was the smartest move they could have made. I don't believe this was the way they should have conducted business because he's from Green Bay. Oh, they filled out the whole coaching staff with people that Sully and half have worked with. And I know typically guys bring their guys along, you know what I mean? But not every position, you know what I mean? You telling me you couldn't hire or interview some guys outside your circle and maybe they were better candidates for positions than just your boys? They didn't hire nobody from the outside. Nobody.
Yeah,
it was all their boys. And now you go get your quarterback too, and again, it's undisputable that he was a career backup so far. It's undisputable. You can't argue it. It's facts.
Yeah. We'll see, bro. I mean, it's going to be, and the Miami Dolphins always make it interesting for us, right? I guess Stephen Ross he's given these guys the reign to kind of build this how they want to build it. Now I do like the fact that these guys actually can talk and hold conversations. They interview well. I'm excited about the things that they're saying, right? But I just need to see it put into action and I need to see it develop over time, the vision for the team and the vision for how they plan on winning games. Like that's going to be important to me. So we'll see how it works out. These guys sound great, right? They sound like they talk like politicians. They sound fantastic, but we shall see how things work out.
Malik Willis to sound good when it's rehearsed. You know what I mean? It's rehearsed, obviously, and I just feel like they've lied to us so far. You talk about building through the draft, then you go sign a quarterback.
You said they lied to us.
I feel like they did. I feel like they acted like it was going to be a quarterback competition this year when you knew full well that you were going to get Malik Willis.
That is true, though.
Well. Hey, you know what I mean? Like
that is true. That's crazy, bro. They did mention quarterback competition and all this stuff, but there ain't no competition. Malik Willis is the guy.
Malik Willis is the starter, 100%. Yeah. No chance. I don't care if Quinn Ewers is Dan Marino in training camp and preseason. Malik Willis is starting.
But maybe they said that because they were still evaluating the Tua situation. I don't know.
They knew Tua was out the door when they got here. Everybody knew. They didn't even wish the guy happy birthday. Like, come on. Like, they knew. Everybody knew that they were moving on from Tua. It was no secret.
Bro. It's crazy because they sold us on, hey, whatever the room is, it's going to be quarterback competition and stuff like that. I wonder will yours get an opportunity to compete, or will it just be Malik Willis? Because I don't know about no opportunity to compete. I think Malik Willis is the guy, and I don't think they're going to allow Ewers to beat Malik Willis out, even if there was a quarterback competition, bro. I just don't see that happening.
I love this fan. Like, if you guys been so positive the whole 25 years, I mean, I got some, you know what I mean? I got some beachfront property yeah, for sale. You know what I mean? Like, I don't know how you guys aren't skeptical of the moves that the Miami Dolphins have made, they continue to make this ownership. They've continuously made the wrong moves year after year after year, and all of a sudden they've turned into, what are we talking about? You talk about the success of the Green Bay Packers and everybody acting like Sully is fully responsible for that. Half is fully responsible for the success of the Green Bay. The Green Bay Packers have been relevant for the last 30 years strictly because of quarterback play that neither one of those guys had anything to do with them drafting Aaron Rodgers or drafting or trading for Brett Favre. Those teams were relevant because of those two men. They were two of the greatest quarterbacks in NFL history. And again, let's finish this exercise. I'm going to go through the list of names in the NFL that I believe are better than Jordan Love. And Jordan Love, it's got to be better than Malik Willis. The guys that know these two guys best chose Jordan Love over Malik Willis. Patrick Mahomes, who you taking?
What? No question. Mahomes.
Allen. Lamar Jackson. Joe Burrow. Matthew Stafford. Dak Prescott. Drake May.
I'll take Drake May.
Bo Nix.
I'm not taking Bo Nix.
That's fine. Justin Herbert.
I'll take Herbert over Love.
Jalen Daniels.
I'll take Daniels over Love. Yep.
Jared Goff.
I like Goff over Love.
Jalen Hurts.
I like Hurts over Love.
That's 11 people better.
That's close. That's close. Continue on. Is there more?
I got more of a list, but that's the 11 that I said that were definitely better than Love. And again, Willis isn't as good as Love because they would have kept Willis over Love. This is the next wave. Caleb Williams.
I like Caleb over a lot of those guys.
Jackson Dart.
Love. No, I'll take Love over Jackson Dart.
Okay. Sam Darnold.
Right now, I'm taking Sam Darnold over Love.
Baker Mayfield.
I like Baker over Love.
Trevor Lawrence.
I like Love over Lawrence now. I do
Lawrence
like.
Lawrence did have a great year last year.
He did. He had a good year.
CJ Stroud.
I think they're in the same boat. I think that's a wash.
Brock Purdy.
I like Love over Purdy.
Now these are either rookies or the first year guys that.
But that's probably
a lot younger and got potential.
That's
Mendoza.
I like Love over Mendoza.
Okay. Ty Simpson.
I like Love over Ty Simpson. I think so. A lot of these rookie guys, I'm gonna take Love over them because he's done.
And that's
it
fine. That's absolutely.
Yeah.
But still, you got it. It's a.
You have options.
I think it's a question that you gotta. It's not just a clear cut answer. I think that you gotta. And because of the age, and all the things considered, you still got to think about it. Cam Ward.
I think Love is better than Cam Ward right now.
And Tyler Shock.
I like Love over Shock.
See, I think he's got a lot of potential. I think he played well for New Orleans last year.
Yeah, no, I think so too. I just think when we look at it from that standpoint, there are a lot of quarterbacks better than Jordan Love. And a lot of these quarterbacks are definitely better than Malik Willis. Now, we haven't seen a good sample size of Malik Willis. We haven't. We've only seen, maybe 60 snaps. Have we seen 60 snaps from him? 60, 70, 80 snaps total. So there's not a lot of there's not a good sample size to really hone in on, but they've seen practice film. They've seen a lot of tape on him. So, when you're looking at, and that's something I do rock with, is the fact that they've seen a lot of them. So when they see him go up against the first team defense and they have all that film, they can see him command the scout team offense and go up against the first team defense. They see how he prepares from week to week. So, bro, they've seen him. So they have to be pretty convicted that this guy is really good and he could be the player that they think he can be for sure.
And then I got the list of guys that I feel like Jordan Love is better than. Tua Tagovailoa, Daniel Jones, Aaron Rodgers, Geno Smith, Michael Penix, Bryce Young, J.J. McCarthy, Kyler Murray, and the Browns trio of quarterbacks, Dylan Gabriel, Shedeur Sanders, and Deshaun, I'll touch your backside, Watson. But, yeah, I mean, again, that's Jordan Love we're talking about. And obviously the Green Bay Packers felt better about Jordan Love, who is an older quarterback, a more expensive quarterback. You could have traded away Jordan Love and probably got maybe a couple first rounders if you felt Malik Willis was better.
Yeah,
someone would have probably gave you. Why not though? Why not?
I mean, and that's a really good question too, because I mean that's a move they could have made, but I think they were set that Jordan Love was the guy for the franchise, and they were just going to give Malik his opportunity to go find his opportunity, like go find your starting job. So I think they did give him that. I think if they had the hindsight ahead of time, they probably should have moved him for a pick, and that would have been the better play as a franchise to move him and get some draft capital prior to letting him walk. But hey, I don't think people knew what they had sitting on the bench, and that's what I'm going to say to myself.
Now listen, this whole thing wasn't the bash Malik Willis. I think he's a good young, not super young, but I think he's a good player. My reason for doing this is to point out that he's not franchise altering player. He's not a franchise altering player. And the way this team is constructed right now, the situation that this team is in right now, it made no sense to bring Malik Willis to this team. It's not that I don't think Malik Willis is going to perform well. Sure, he could be a Pro Bowl quarterback, which that's not saying much this day and age. Yeah, I mean, look at Shedeur Sanders went to the Pro Bowl this year. Come on. Listen, Malik Willis could be a top 5 quarterback in the AFC stat-wise this year. They're going to rely a lot on him. He's going to be throwing. He's going to be running. He's going to put up numbers. But that does not translate to turning this franchise around. And you had a great opportunity just to play it out, build this roster up, and then go get a quarterback in the first round that's 22 years old, that has all the promise in the world. We don't know what Malik Willis is. We don't. Just like we don't know what these rookies are. Yeah, we have a 3-game sample size. He did get hurt in those 3 games. He did exit one of those games with a shoulder injury because of the style of play that he plays. He is an undersized quarterback. In 2 years, when this roster is built up to maybe compete, he is going to be almost 30 years old.
Mm-hmm.
He is going to take a pounding in the next 2 years with this offensive line and the way that he plays football. So he's going to be on the downside of his athletic ability. So how great is he going to be in 2 years from now when we could be taking a number 1 pick in the draft at quarterback? The move don't make sense.
Yeah.
And if he's not your future, what was the point in getting him? Anthony says, I don't think he's the future. Maybe he's a bridge quarterback. We have a bridge quarterback. We have a young quarterback that has potential on this football team, and not as much potential as Malik Willis, perhaps.
But I think that's the business side of it, though. I think the Miami Dolphins still need to sell us a product.
Why? Why though? Stephen Ross is filthy fucking rich. You know what I mean? Like he's 80 years old. He'll never spend every dollar. You know what I mean? Like,
but Stephen Ross is the type of guy, like, he doesn't want to see fans in the stadium with paper bags over their heads. Like, he doesn't want to see a tanking football team. I think it could drive him to death. It could drive him into the grave at this point. So he's thinking, hey, give me something that these fans could be excited about. And this is what gets fans excited: quarterback play. Like, the fact that Tua is gone, this this revives the Wolfpack. This takes the Wolfpack and it gives them the opportunity to say, hey, Tua is gone. We have somebody else who can run and who can take off. They got a budget Lamar Jackson who can run around like a chicken with his head cut off and make plays and figure things out. And this is what they want. So this is what they're going to get. And hopefully it works out for the Dolphins because I'm a Dolphin fan first. And I want to see the team be successful. But at the expense of what? Like I don't know. Like at the expense of getting one of these young quarterbacks who are really good and who come in the league and set it on fire. Like, I don't want that.
Richard says you have a 30% chance to hit on a quarterback in the draft to become a franchise quarterback. What's the number on getting a franchise quarterback in free agency? What's the number on that?
What's the number?
Because I guarantee it's considerably lower than that 30% of getting a franchise quarterback in the draft.
What's the chance of hitting on a franchise quarterback who's been a career backup? Like, what's the chances?
What are we talking about?
Like, what's the chances of hitting on a franchise quarterback who's been a career backup? That's tough too. And I think the fact that he's a career backup makes it even more difficult. Like, we can look at guys like Baker Mayfield and be like, oh, he revived his career. But the dude started everywhere he went. Like, he wasn't a guy who was sitting on the bench. Like, he was getting reps. He showed flashes. We had seen a good sample size of him. So when he goes to the Buccaneers, it's like, okay, we've seen this guy play. He can play. And all he needs is some talent around him. You drop him into that team, and he's a player, right?
And time out. The difference between Sam Darnold and Baker Mayfield and Malik Willis, those guys were both the number one pick in the NFL draft. Those both were the number one pick in the draft. They weren't the third round pick. These guys were number one picks that, maybe they were just drafted the bad teams that didn't know how to use them, a la the Cleveland Browns and the New York Jets. But these guys were those franchise quarterbacks you're talking about in the first round of the NFL draft. Yeah, they were signed in free agency, but in reality, they were top of the draft picks. So
Anthony
there goes two of your names right there.
Manzano says you only have a 5% chance to hit on your franchise quarterback in free agency.
I believe it's less than that. Damn. I believe it's less than that. What? Name them.
No, I think Baker turned into a franchise guy.
Okay.
That was a free agency move. Okay. Sam Darnold might be a franchise guy now for the Seahawks. But these are very rare situations. These are first overall picks, bro. Like,
one out of 10 is 10%. We're talking about 5%. So say we got two quarterbacks, Sam Darnold and Baker Mayfield out of 30 teams. What's that average?
Oh yeah. It's very, very small. Very small. We shall see though, bro. It's gonna be interesting for the Dolphins.
Someone join the Fin Posse podcast. Join the membership, a super chat, something, brother. We out here we out here putting this work in. You know what I mean? But yeah, again, I hope all the success in the world. I just think we're going about it in the wrong way. I just don't like the way we're going about it. I think there's a clear-cut way to rebuild this team rather quickly. We'll have a bunch of salary cap room next year. I think if you hit on a couple draft picks this year, I liked the draft class last year. They didn't perform it quite as well as I would have liked, but I think there's still a lot of potential there. I think if Sully is anywhere near the draft guru that everybody thinks he is because he came from the Packers, they should be able to get a nice haul in this draft. And I think in 2027, you had an opportunity to really compete. And, if Malik Willis, like I said, I think he's got top 5 AFC potential this year. And if you believe he's going to put up top 5 numbers in the AFC and he's going to be this great quarterback, I guarantee you he does not play next year for $23 million. It's not going to happen. He's not going to play a final year of a deal with all his guaranteed money next year. He's going to want a new contract, and he's going to want $50 million a year. That's facts. he gonna want a big boy contract.
Yeah, I mean that's
players don't go into the last year of their contract with all the guaranteed money gone for the future. They don't do that.
And we learned that the hard way. The Dolphins did. So, bro, we'll see how this works out, bro.
We'll here we go. There was a once in a lifetime, one quarterback drafted. How many NFL drafts have there ever been? How many quarterbacks ever have been drafted in the 6th round? And one turned into something. One. That Tom Brady shit in the 6th round. Like, come on. That's the crutch. Well, one time in the history of mankind, there was a 6th round draft pick that turned into Tom Brady. Come on.
Yeah. It's rough, bro.
That's what we're relying on. One time it happened. One time.
Yeah.
You got anything else to add, brother?
Nah, man. I'm just I'm excited to start talking about the Dolphins again. I'm going to I'll be going live soon. So I appreciate you guys still locking in with us. But hey, I'm gonna have you on my show too, and we can just continue these conversations about like the direction and like how we feel they should moving forward.
Sorry, I don't want to interrupt you.
Go ahead.
A 6-win team can be a 9-win team with some breaks. What's a 9-win team doing for you?
Yeah,
that's what you want. That's what we're looking. Why not keep Tua and Mike McDaniel then? If 9 wins is satisfactory, why would we move on?
There's hope. There's new hope now. There's new hope.
Yeah, we hoping we win 9 games over 6. That's our ceiling now, and we're comfortable with it.
Yeah, it's not good enough.
Like, come on, 6 wins can turn into 9. Come on, that does something for you. I'm not done. I'm not satisfied with that. Not the 9. You know what the 9 wins get you? You know what 9 wins get you in 2026? It gets you 9 wins in 2027 because you're not in a position to get yourself any better because you're stuck in the middle of the draft.
It gets you a trip to Mexico too after the season.
Man, come on.
Definitely gets you a trip to Mexico. Vacation. That's what it gets you. Vacation. But yeah, man. Hey, bro, this is where we are. There's a lot of people excited, and I'm excited for people who are excited. But we shall see. We shall see how things work out.
Cap, this is not a turnaround by a quarterback. Last year they had 4 wins, then next year they were in the Super Bowl. This isn't that, brother. We have no cap space to fill out this roster. You can't fill out this roster if you wanted to. You couldn't.
Hey, Anthony Manzano says, I feel this is just a purgatory. To be honest, we're not going to be bad enough to be in the top 10, but we're not going to be good enough to be in the playoffs. We're going to be stuck in at 11 through 20. Yeah.
That is my issue with the Malik Willis signing. Not that he's a bad quarterback. I think he does elevate this team, but not enough to where it makes a difference. The only difference it makes is it hurts our draft position for 2027.
Now, I do think right now, if we went out with this team that we have right now, we're losing more than I mean, we're not winning more than 4 or 5 games with this team right now. Now, if we see they start to add pieces and try to go in free agency to add players to fill out this roster, then they're trying to win games.
No, we can't overspend, Cap.
In that case, I could see us getting over 5 wins. So it's going to be interesting to see how they play the free agency thing and play the draft out. But, bro, I don't know. I mean, we're with a guy like Malik Willis, we're going to find a way to win some games.
Rolling with Carlos, who are you talking about? We had an elite quarterback for years. How did that pan out with him? Who are you talking about?
Tua wasn't elite, by any means. He was a good quarterback, though.
And I hope you're not talking about Dan, because Dan at least took us to Super Bowls, AFC championship games. They just couldn't build a complete roster around him.
But
and if you say having an elite quarterback doesn't help you win football games, you're mistaken.
I think so Marino, man, that's a whole nother conversation. People love Dan Marino, but he didn't really win anything either to me. So I mean, I get it.
He was an elite quarter. It's easier to win with elite quarter. He took you to Super Bowls. He took you to AFC championship games. They did run into some of the greatest teams of all time. They did not put a perfect team around him. Did Dan struggle sometimes in the playoffs? He did. But are you telling me that it's not important to have a franchise quarterback? I mean, I think it is. I think
we got a franchise quarterback, bro. We got Malik Willis. What are we talking about?
Come on.
Bro,
stop that right now.
You gotta stop being a negative Nancy.
One Super Bowl. All right, how many Malik Willis take you to?
We'll see. We about to find out.
I'll take one Super Bowl at this point. We can't even make the playoffs in the last 25 years.
Look at Anthony talking about football as the ultimate team game, but you want a quarterback over everything. Like, you thought Tua was the end all be all, bro. Let's not do that. Let's not do this.
And rolling with Carlos, I don't want to you're saying that the Dolphins only got the one Super Bowl with an elite quarterback. So what is Malik Willis going to do for you? Because Malik Willis ain't elite. So what is he doing for you? So why did we sign him if there's no other pieces in the cupboard?
It depends on what that defense is doing.
That defense is Swiss cheese.
It depends on what that defense is doing, boy. You better figure it out quick.
The defense is giving up long plays and the ball's going over their heads.
The defense better find a way to get off the field, or we're gonna be.
We don't know. Yeah, we know what a player is when they make they're at the bottom of the salary. You know what I mean? When they're making 1.5 and they should be on other people's practice squads.
Yeah.
Jury's still out on Malik. No, it's not. It's not out. He can be good, but he's not better than Jordan Love. He's not better than Jordan Love. Facts. Hit that like button, subscribe, comment, share. Where can they find you, CB?
Hey, Phins say with CB83. Catch me on X. Catch me on Instagram. Catch me on YouTube. I'll be going live soon to talk some Miami Dolphins. Talk about the cuts, the signings, everything Miami Dolphins, man. I appreciate you having me. Hey, be sure to like, share, and subscribe this channel, the Phins Posse Podcast. Join the membership. Donate.
How many
support
top
the
10
channel.
draft picks quarterbacks have won Super Bowls? Quite a few. John Elway won Super Bowls. Peyton Manning won Super Bowls. Sam Darnold won a Super Bowl. Matthew Stafford won Super Bowl. Troy Aikman won Super Bowls. I mean, a lot of number one draft. A lot more quarterbacks that were drafted in the top 10 have won Super Bowls than quarterbacks that were signed in free agency. A lot more. All right, guys. I love y'all. I appreciate y'all. Thank you, CB. Anytime. It's always a pleasure. I keep trying to get you to do something, but you be fronting. But
bro, we're gonna do something for real, bro. Come on, bro. I got you.
We've been doing that 2 years. Come on.
Hey, look, and hey, you saw you hit me yesterday, and I was like, hey, I'm pulling up. Let's get it.
Yeah, absolutely. Yes, Tua was a failure for the Miami Dolphins, 100%. He was a top 5 pick and didn't get us to where we need to be.
Hey, man, I appreciate you guys' support. Hey, I appreciate y'all supporting the channel. Let's keep rocking, bro. Let's keep doing this.
All right, guys, take it easy and Fins up. Peace.
See ya. Shout out to the homies.
Yo, Big C in the house. You know the name. Fin Posse Podcast. Changing the game. Fins up high. Feel the aqua and orange. Miami heat blazing. We scorching the floor. Marino the tour. We stacking the saga. Legacy deep, call it football nirvana. Big C, break it down, got the stats in his veins. Play-by-play knowledge like he's calling the chains. Phins flying on the field, opponents feel the blast. Tyreek cheetah speed, leaving DBs in the past. Waddle with the wiggle, defense with the clamp. Aqua drip so clean, whole squash the champ. Tune in, Big C, got the mic on lock. Fin Posse podcast, it's the cream of the crop. Breaking news, hot takes, repping the block. For the Dolphin faithful, it's the one-stop shop. Fin Posse, we the voice of the fans. Miami stand tall, got the world in our hands. Best podcast, yo, ain't no debate. Big C, big vibes, setting it straight. Defense smash, call it Aqua Tsunami. X locking routes like a South Beach Armani. O-line holding strong, trenches like a fortress. Big C dissected, no stack goes dormant.